Hello everybody and welcome back to Full House Sports here with myself Charlie. Reminder before the video starts to please like, comment and subscribe. Anything you guys do is greatly appreciated. Loving the interaction at the minute, so please keep that up. Right, the other day I did a video, if you haven't seen it yet, check out the channel, about the USA 2031 Rugby Union World Cup, and quite harshly perhaps, I predicted that it could be a disaster. The USA had just been beaten 85-0 by Scotland. I'd said about the failings of the domestic rugby league in the USA. It got me thinking how or what could be done to potentially boost this. Now, I know we saw New Zealand and Ireland sell out. And I know somebody commented on my videos the other day, talking about as well that the big Polynesian diaspora in America that will sell out games, that will go and watch. And that's massive. But I also had a bit of fun of it because I watched Wales-Argentina earlier and Argentina comprehensively thrashed Wales. And it got me thinking, and I know I'm not the first person to think this, I know the Argentinians would like it this way, but it got me thinking, how could a British and Irish Lions tour of the Americas work? And if so, what would it look like? Because something needs to be done, in my opinion, to keep boosting the game in the USA. It's a market that's not been explored, I don't think, as well by Union as it could be. We're seeing the NRL in Rugby League move games to Vegas quite regularly. Super League as well in Rugby League are moving games to Las Vegas. Yet it feels like in Union, are not doing as much. So it got me thinking, how could a British and Irish Lions tour work, and what could the games go? So I've got a few ideas here. Now, please bear with me on this one. It is a bit of fun. Like I say, I'm not saying that it should happen. I'm not proposing it should happen instead of, I know there was some talk about, it should happen instead of tour in Australia. That's a ridiculous notion. I'm saying, could you squeeze a tour in? Anything like that? I don't know. Just having a bit of fun with it. That's what it is. It's a new to start, just what I wanted to think about. So, I've got game one of the tour. They could play Canada in Toronto. Now, I know the Canadians are ranked, I think, 25th in the world at the minute. It would be quite one-sided. But again, it would be supporting a nation. I think a lot of this tour that I've got proposed is doing what I think the British Lions should be doing, which is supporting Tier 2 rugby, and also would give tour matches that have got a bit of purpose. We saw the tour matches in Australia were lacklustre at best. A lot of the teams were either put together invitational sides, I say a lot. A couple of teams were put together into that invitational sides. They didn't give a lot, especially the Anzac 15. That was dreadful. And a lot of these Super Rugby franchises, what they were then, didn't pick their Aussies, didn't pick their Wallabies. So I've done this on the basis of that. So I've got that. I've then got that they could play a Major League Rugby All-Star side. So an All-Star side obviously made up of the domestic league. It would do massively numbers, I think, for Major League Rugby if their best players could play against the British and Irish Lions. It would hopefully let American rugby fans look at the league and give them that eyes on it. Then I've got, and this is a big one, a game against the USA in Las Vegas. Imagine that, the Lions going to Las Vegas. How good does that sound? How great does that sound? Loads of people converging on the USA. And then it gets people talking. People go, what is this? Well, why is this? We know the US sports fans. It's about marketing with them. You know, what is this Lions tour? Oh, this is why. This is the tradition of it. And people go and they say, I want to keep my eyes on this, actually. You've had 2 games there. Then you move down. You played Chile. I think you've got to play Chile. They're a big nation on the rise. 20,000 were recently at their game against Samoa. That's a huge amount of numbers. They're an emerging nation. But if you brought the Lions there, that is the spirit of the tour, isn't it? You bring them to Chile. I know it's a lot of travelling that I'm involved in, but in this modern era, that's not too much. So this is a bit of a proper tour. I've also got a game against the South American 15 at the Maracanã. The Lions in Rio. Tell me that doesn't sound good. Tell me that doesn't sound amazing. Again, it's about marketing. Brazilian rugby. We saw their women qualify for the Women's Rugby World Cup. Again, if you could keep that growth going with something like the Lions, it would be amazing. Now, I'm not saying it could end disastrously, but I think people would turn up because they'd be intrigued to see what's going on. Maybe not the Maracanã. Maybe you do it at the Arena Corinthians like the NFL have just done. But I just throwing it out there that I think is a bit of fun. Then you play, I think, Uruguay. Again, a bit of an old bastion of South American rugby. You know, they've forever been a sort of I don't say whipping boys, that's harsh, but have been the bridesmaids to Argentina's brides. And I think it would be incredible to see if they could play them there. Then you come down to Argentina. You've got 3 tests against the Argentinians. For me, at the minute, the Argentinians I think they beat Wales. Well, they beat Wales convincingly. I do my predictions later on, but I think they'll beat Scotland as well. It wouldn't surprise me. They've beat New Zealand. They've beat Australia. They're a fantastic side, and they deserve this. And let's not forget, the Rugby Championship isn't going to be happening consistently. I think, as a rugby fan, need to ensure that it's not going to be that they're going to be left hung out to dry. I hope that doesn't happen anyway. So I think you play 3 tests against the Argentinians. Imagine it at the Monumental. You play a test match there, 70,000 at River Plate Stadium. Obviously, there's the history. I know there's the history of Britain and Argentina, but it, for me, sells itself on that aspect. And yes, you'd have to have safety guarantees, but it would be huge, I think, for Argentinian rugby, and it would be exactly what the Lions are about. I think it would be fantastic to see, and as a market perspective, I think it gets eyes back on the Lions tour. The Lions tour to Australia felt lacklustre. It felt stale, and it felt like a bit of a procession. The games didn't feel like it felt like it went and it was been and gone. Imagine if you could do a Lions tour there, a first game at the Monumental. Then you play a game at the Rugby Stadium. You a game against one of their franchises that are in Super Rugby America. So now they've got the Doggos, or apparently the Jaguars are coming back potentially. You play those in the midweek, and then you play your next 2 tests against Argentina. For me, I was thinking about it earlier, and I was just thinking, we need to do more to give the Argentinians. We need to do more of this, because it could be, well, it is huge there anyway. I've seen some of the entrances their fans give. I think it would give the Lions tour a bit of rejuvenation, because it's a crowded sport in market now. We're seeing what New Zealand do, and they're touring South Africa. Surely the Lions or England or anyone could do it with the Americas. It really excites me. And I think it's an untapped potential. It's continuing to grow, and it'd be great to jump on that and get involved. It'd be a fantastic opportunity. But I say, just a bit of fun, just something I was thinking about. I wanted to get out there. I wanted to just thoughts, feelings, opinions. Let us know what you guys think, as always. Please like, comment and subscribe, and have a great day. Thank you.